Chanel's got a brand new release from the Les Exclusives collection. It's called Comete. Have you guys heard about it? I reported on this release some months ago, and it launched in March. I'm just now getting my hands on it here, and I'm going to do a first impressions on Comete. If you're curious to learn about it, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. I already reported on the new limited edition number 5 Low. Let me show you here. I reported on it in a new fragrances dropping video. So this is the latest, but you guys have been asking me to do a video on the latest Les Exclusives fragrance called Comete, and that's what I'm doing here for you in this video. First impressions on camera. Before I move on with that fragrance though, we recently dropped Scent Club kit number 10, and we still have some kits left for you guys. If you're in the market for a great collection of fragrances, we've got Les Eaux Primordiales Vanille Supermassive, we've got Piano Santal from L'Orchestre Parfum, and then we also have Gianni from Soradora. So we don't have too many left, so get your kit before we run out. Just wanted to let you guys be aware that that is dropped. It's a bit slow in the summertime, so I know people are out and about doing things, but just giving you a heads up before it runs out so you can get your kit. But let's go ahead and check out this new Les Exclusives fragrance from the House of Chanel. Do let me know if you're a fan of it. I know I've been reporting on how the price hikes with this brand have been too much. They've just jacked up the prices. This 200 ml is $500, and you also have to include tax on that. So it's about $550 that you're paying for a 200 ml bottle of Chanel Comete or any of the Les Exclusives fragrances. Thankfully, there was a promotion that I took advantage of, so it was part of a dollar off thing that I did somewhere along the way. And so now I have this bottle, and I didn't pay, you know, the actual amount that the fragrance is selling for. But if you've gotten your nose on Comete, let me know what it's all about. Put a comment down what you think about it. Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? I'm assuming if you have it, you enjoy it. This is considered a powdery floral fragrance. Again, launched in 2024. It launched back in March. Created by Olivier Polge, Olivier Polge, who is the in-house perfumer over at Chanel. He even did number 5 Low. And again, 200 ml, 500 plus tax. 75 ml, 325 plus tax. It is Eau De Parfum concentration. So, as I was saying, the bottle has gone through some new changes. I kind of like what they did with it. Is this going to be what they're going to do with the other boxes? Because I have Le Lion here. It's just a straightforward, simplistic box. But the logo on top is black, and I kind of prefer the black logo. Here with this one, it's silver, so it doesn't stand out as much. What do you guys think of that difference? Do put a comment down so I can find out. But the notes for this are fresh cherry blossom accord, iris, and heliotrope. Now I did put my nose on it really quickly, and I did get the Chanel DNA on this one, so it did have that going for it. So if you're familiar and you enjoy the DNA, you might actually like this fragrance. It is an iris fragrance. Stay tuned for an iris video tomorrow, by the way. This is not featured in it. It was mostly about niche fragrances, but it's iris, and I think, doesn't Chanel already have iris fragrance or 2 or 3? I know they utilize iris quite a bit in their fragrances. Maybe this is the only standalone iris-focused fragrance. And as I was saying, I'm not the biggest fan of cherry blossom in fragrances. It was not a very cherry blossomy fragrance. Why are they using the cherry blossom note here? This is the first in a Chanel fragrance. Are they appealing to a younger demographic? Let me know. Put a comment down below. I feel like maybe they're trying to jump on the bandwagon of cherry, even though they're not using the cherry note. It's cherry, and cherry's kind of trendy. Maybe that's what's going on here. But thankfully, it was not very cherry blossomy. I don't have anything against it. It just doesn't appeal to me, and I liked what I smelled. As I said, I really love iris. One of my favorite notes you'll learn tomorrow in the iris video. And I also enjoy heliotrope. Now, heliotrope is a purple flower that also doesn't really have that kind of floral, white floral thing. It has a very powdery effect in fragrances, and it also does a light almondy effect. So that's another reason why I think this one's pretty good. And the other thing is, from cherries, you get the opposite, like almondy touches. Even with cherry blossoms, you do get kind of that effect, but for some strange reason, sometimes they bring out this very young girly kind of styling with cherry blossom fragrances, and that's kind of why it never really appealed to me. So in here, it's a bit more mature, even though I feel like they are appealing to the younger demographic. Look at this one more time. Look at this beautiful star and the detailing on this. It's kind of standing out, indented, and then all around the box there's this going on with it. And that's pretty much it. But as I said, this logo is silver. I don't think it stands out as much. For me, I much prefer the black logo because it's really stand out. And I like that about Chanel. Those colors are what I'm know Chanel for. Here, it kind of like blends in too much and doesn't stand out as much. But do let me know what your thoughts are on that. So here is Comete. So this is Eau De Parfum concentration, and the Les Exclusives collection used to be Eau de Toilette. In 2016, they launched a fragrance called Boy, and then that came out in Eau De Parfum, I believe. I believe that's what happened. And then they reformulated all of their fragrances and created Eau De Parfums of all of the current fragrances at that time. Also, remember recently, Hermes launched their Oud fragrance, and it came out in EDP. So will they do the same thing with the Hermescence collection? That I don't know. But let's go ahead and smell this. So we're expecting to smell cherry blossom accord. It says fresh cherry blossom accord, iris, and heliotrope. The notes were taken off of the Chanel website. So the Chanel DNA for me is aldehydic. I kind of got a aldehydic touch with this one. And it's certainly here. So for me, now that I'm smelling it here in the studio, I'm getting more of a cherry effect here, more than I got in the quick smelling I did in a department store. It's a very airy, fresh. The fresh cherry blossom accord is very, very correct. It has a very fresh kind of a smell. Experience, I should say. But more than the cherry blossom, for me, I'm getting the actual fruit, which is quite weird. I didn't get that when I smelled it in store, which makes for, like I said, a younger kind of a demographic. Even the new Chanel No. 5 Low has that kind of a younger, appeal going for it. Because I think a lot of younger generation probably doesn't like Chanel No. 5 because a lot of them say it smells like grandma or smells old and things like that. So that's why they created the Low. I think this came out in 2016 to appeal to a younger demographic. And I feel like this fragrance also, appeals to more of a younger demographic. But it is powdery. It's very, very powdery. In fact, overdose of powder with the iris and heliotrope. There is a light aldehydic touch about this. Maybe it's coming from the fresh cherry blossom accord that's in here, but also might be a combo of both. So for me, the cherry blossom accord, I get cherries with the flowers as well. So the cherries are smelling more cherry-like, and for me, I don't really get the smell of cherries, the fruits, from smelling the blossoms. But for some strange reason, I'm getting more of a cherry fruit touch with the inclusion of the cherry blossom accord. Does that make sense to you guys? So let me go ahead and spritz this on and let you know a little bit more. Here. Those of you that have this one, do let me know what your thoughts are. If you're a man, are you enjoying it? If you're a woman, are you enjoying it? Let me know. Put a comment down below. So as I was saying, heliotrope does have that almondy effect. It's more prominent on skin. I feel like I'm wearing powdery almonds with a fruity cherry touch. This fragrance to me, I feel like is the most youngest appealing fragrance that Chanel has in their Les Exclusives collection. It's young, it's vibrant, but also mature at the same time. It's not like they're, getting away from the type of Chanel fragrances that Chanel, releases. So it's not so distant from it. But for me, this kind of cherry thing is giving me a younger energy, a younger, demographic experience about it. On skin, it's a bit more gourmand. There is a nuttiness. The almondiness effect from the heliotrope is prominent. But in a floral way, though. It's not like you're actually smelling almonds here. The heliotrope is floral, is very powdery, but has those kind of touches of the almonds in there. It's not like they're using almonds to smell like almonds, just the fact that it's a floral note that kind of comes off a bit like almonds. I think it's a pleasant fragrance. There's a bit of a reminder of Missia. Am I getting Missia from this? Missia is a violet fragrance from Chanel. Am I getting Missia from this? Something violet-like is appearing here. I don't think they mention violets in the notes. Those of you that love powdery fragrances, that love iris with a kind of a cherry edge, should get your nose on this one. In addition to all of this stuff, and the reminder of Missia, I'm also getting a bit of a makeup-y touch. Makeup-y effect. And it's a given. If I'm getting violets, and there's iris and heliotrope, maybe the cherries are giving us fruitiness. So it's kind of like a lipsticky, makeup-y thing with a fruity twist. Definitely leaning on the feminine side, but I have no problems wearing this. I quite like the smell, actually. Iris is a favorite note of mine. You'll hear tomorrow in the iris video. So I'm kind of happy about this fragrance, actually, since it is more of the fruit rather than the cherry blossom. It's very young for sure. It wears young, but not like a very girly like way. It's got a classiness about it that I like. It's got an elegance about it. And again, it's trying to appeal to the younger demographic, I think, from wearing this for the amount of time I'm wearing it, even from the sniffs and everything. But it's not being very young, and it's also not being very old. And I think this is kind of true with the fact that a lot of I've come across younger generation considers Chanel fragrances to be a bit old school. So maybe I'm right with the fact that I think that maybe Chanel's trying to appeal to the younger demographic. What do you guys think? And what do you guys think of the price? I know I've complained about the price point on these fragrances, and I still buy their fragrances. I actually really like the Chanel Les Exclusives collection, but the price hikes are just way too much. Way too much. Are they going to do another price hike next year? So will this go up to $550? Because it's been going up $50 every time. How much more can they raise the price of these fragrances, and when will people stop buying them? I think the prices have gone way outrageously expensive. They should stop here for at least 5 years, if not 10. But I don't see that happening. But going back to this fragrance, I like it. It's not a screamer. It has its intensity, but it's not like beast mode. We should never expect that from designers, ever. Never, ever, ever. Even in their exclusive collections. They're potent, they're vibrant, they're energetic, they're intense, but not beast mode. I do like it. Is it a wow fragrance, though? No. I've smelled fragrances like this quite a bit. There's a lot out there. This is just kind of in that Chanel DNA. It's good work. Good work from Olivier Polge. Again, it's not wow because I've smelled fragrances like this. This is just a way that Chanel would create a fragrance like this, utilizing the cherry-like vibes. And I'm surprised that I'm getting more cherry as a fruit rather than just a cherry blossom. As I was saying, I don't get a lot of fruits from smelling the blossoms because I love smelling, fruit blossoms or nut blossoms, I should say, because when every place I've lived with family, we've always had fruit trees. And when I visit my mom, she's got almonds, she's got apricots, even cherry trees, all of the blossoms, even citrus blossoms. I'm a big fan of them. They have great fragrances, although the citruses have more fragrance than the blossoms. But some blossoms do have a really pleasant smell. And I know what blossoms smell like, but the fact that this is considered cherry blossom accord and smells a bit fruity, more fruitier than how it should smell, I feel like they've created something to be a twist on the cherry blossom accord, making it a fruity cherry blossom thing. But in the end, it's quite pleasant. I think the only thing I think people would be turned off by is the price point. But I think Olivier Polge did a good job. Again, I complain that he doesn't do much, but maybe it takes time for an in-house perfumer to create such fragrances, because it took them 4 years to launch this Comete, I think, after Le Lion. And I don't think anything came before Le Lion, right? I mean, after Le Lion, right? I don't think so. I haven't kept up. But yeah, I think this is 4 years after Le Lion, and then we've got Comete, and it'll take them another 4 years to launch something else in the collection. But yeah, satisfactory. And going back to the number 5 low, this is also quite pricey. A 50 ml for $155. It is an eau de toilette because it's low. It's like a watery take on the original number 5, which was launched like 100 years ago. And in 2016, they launched the low in the kind of the normal Chanel bottles. And now we've got this limited edition bottle. Why would they do this, I wonder? What do you guys think of this bottle? You know what this reminds me of? There was a Calvin Klein fragrance. It was very glass. Can't remember the name right now. It was a CK fragrance, I believe. Whatever it is, it's reminding me of that bottle. But the fragrance itself is just a lighter take on the original number 5. And again, I think it's appealing to a younger demographic. So the younger generation starts wearing one of the most successful fragrances ever. And also recently, I was on the train traveling. And the train's Wi-Fi network, opens up a page on the computer, the laptop. And there was a Chanel documentary on there. I was like shocked. The Amtrak has a Chanel documentary. It was a really, really great watch. It was about 25 minutes long. Olivier Polge was on there. And it was about harvesting the May Rose, which this fragrance number 5 low features. And just really informational documentary about how Chanel got its start, how Ernest Beau created the original number 5, how she came up with the name, and number 5 is her favorite number, things like that. So if I remember to put the name down of the documentary, I will, because it was on some strange streaming network that I hadn't heard of, and on the Amtrak Wi-Fi. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I will put the Chanel Comete to test. I'm enjoying the smell. It's powdery. It's not very exciting, but I like the execution of it. I think Olivier Polge did a good job on it. But I'll put it to test and test it out and let you know what and how it wears in the info box of this video. But let me know what you experience with Comete. Are you buying this after watching this video? Does it excite you? Or is the price a turn-off for you guys? Do let me know. Put a comment down below. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.